Welcome along to Crunching Gears, the rally podcast. I'm joined by Creighton today. William, you're very welcome.
Thanks for having me on.
Not a problem at all. Always delighted to see you. And we're a few weeks away from the start of the 2023 World Rally Championship. And I believe you have some news to share with us regarding the next rally you're planning on doing.
Yeah, it's pretty special. We're heading to Monte Carlo for the first round of the WRC in the Hyundai Rally 2. So yeah, it's my second rally in it after Spain. So yeah, obviously an iconic event. Everybody knows, the Monte Carlo Rally or, Monaco F1, whether you're into motorsport or not. Everybody's heard of it. So yeah, it's a pretty special opportunity.
Absolutely. I suppose next to Finland, it's one of the key rally events that everybody, when you talk about the World Rally Championship, everybody thinks of. And it's that opening event. It really does set the scene for the year as well. Um, what sort of advice have you been getting? Who's giving you a bit of support? That you're going into an event that's, technically a mixed surface because it's, it is asphalt, but you have a lot of ice and potentially for snow there as well.
Yeah, there's no doubt that it's gonna be tricky. I told my granda about it, and he's into his horses, and he doesn't know too much about rallying. But even whenever I said it to him, he said, "Oh, that'll be a tricky one." So, yeah, I suppose it's the weather and the time of year. Whenever you climb up into the mountains for the stages, you can get mixed conditions. I think it's quite often that the stage will start, dry, and then as you climb up the mountain over the pass, it turns to ice, fog, and snow. So, yeah, tire choice and things like that is obviously going to be pretty key. Trying to get it right for the majority of the loop of stages. Yeah, so we've got a lot of learning to do and trying to do as much prep as we can before the event.
Yeah, I was just about to ask about tires and again, will you have somebody there with experience of the event to give you a bit of advice? Because I can imagine that, it is difficult to get the right tire, and then also an element of bravery involved with maybe, chancing yourself on slicks, when the conditions mightn't necessarily suggest that's what you should be on.
Yeah, well, we're going with the academy, and they've got a really good network of people around them, so there's going to be a lot of experience there to hand. So you can only do the best really that you go out for a loop of three stages, and you can only take six tires with you, four in the car and two in the boot. So it's a gamble really, whatever you do, and I suppose it's trying to get the right tires for the majority of the stages, and even if there's only small sections of ice and snow, you can lose a lot of time if you're not in the right tire, and vice versa.
And speaking of ice, will you have an ice note crew? Will there be somebody there that you'd be working with?
Yeah, we've got an ice note crew out there, and again, that's going to be the first time for me working with that sort of thing. So yeah, there's going to have to be a lot of work done before we head out, so that we're all in the same wavelength and we know what we're talking about. But yeah, that's going to be one thing that I think if we can use it to our benefit, it'll be really helpful. Just trying to get the best picture of what the stages are like and what the conditions are going to be like before you get there.
And have yourself and Liam been started to study the onboards yet, or is that's coming over the Christmas holidays maybe?
Yeah, well, as soon as I heard the news or I knew that it was going to happen, I was straight on to WRC Live and trying to do as much work as possible. But yeah, it's difficult. Trying to watch all the stages, it's hard to really get a feel for what it's actually going to be like. But yeah, quite a lot of the stages are similar from the previous year, so it's good that there's a lot of onboards available. And I've been to the event actually back in 2018 as a spectator with friends. So yeah, back then I never thought that I would be doing it.
Yeah, and how did the drive come about? Because I know the last time you were out in Catalonia in the Rally 2 Hyundai, that was your prize for the winning the junior BRC championship in 21. So how did this drive come around?
Yeah, so after Spain, obviously we ran in with PCRS, and with Josh being there and the link to the Motorsport Ireland Rally Academy, they were happy with how we worked together and the result that we got. So this is the opportunity that came out of that, and yeah, so it's sort of the same setup with Motorsport Ireland Rally Academy supporting it, and PCRS running the car, the Hyundai Rally 2. So it's nice now to have Spain under my belt, and not going in so cold, but obviously it's going to be another learning curve.
And talking of learning curves, you competed last year in the JWRC. What was that step up to the Rally 2 car like? Was it chalk and cheese? Is there much of a difference, especially for likes of myself, wouldn't be able to compare the two cars.
Mhm.
What is it like?
It's amazing, what the Rally 2 cars can do is awesome. But yeah, there's coming up through the ladder, from Rally 5, Rally 4 all the way up. And as I said before, having a year in the Rally 3 car in the JWRC, it's definitely a big help stepping into the Rally 2 car. I've got used to four-wheel drive and the driving style for that. But yeah, nevertheless, there's obviously, a big difference stepping into that car. So but yeah, we've done plenty of kilometers, with Spain. So, and we'll have a test before Monte Carlo. So yeah, there's no reason why we can't get a good feeling and yeah, get comfortable.
And you had a great run out in Spain, finished in the top 30, and that was despite having a puncture, which hampered, your performance. But you did have a solid drive in Spain. I presume yourself and Liam were happy with the result.
Yeah, Spain was good. We didn't really know what to expect or have any, expectations coming into the event, and it was really all about enjoying the prize. It was hard work to get it, so we just wanted to have fun, and I think we were quite relaxed, and that helped, to be honest. There wasn't too much pressure, so yeah, as I said, getting those kilometers under our belt has helped a lot now going into Monte Carlo, but yeah, it's not going to make the challenge any easier, and it's definitely going to be tricky heading up into the stages on Thursday night in the dark. I'm sure it's going to be cold. So, yeah, but what a better way to start the year.
Absolutely. Yep. Definitely start with a bang. All right. And you mentioned there about a pre-event test. So is MI organizing that for you?
Yeah, it's with PCRS and supported again by the Motorsport Ireland Rally Academy. So it's we'll be out there and get a day's testing before we start the recce on a Monday. Because of the stages are so spread out, we've got 3 days of recce, bit like Greece that we had this year. So it's going to be a long week, but I think the fact that you only recce 3 stages per day because it's spread out over 3 days maybe is a little bit easier, and you can get a bit more time in the evenings to work over the notes in the DVD.
And what do you call it? The pre-event test, will that be pretty much a very good simulation of what you're going to be facing on Monte? Will it be, similar type of sort of mountain stage, give you a chance, maybe a bit of snow out there? I've seen pictures now that the Monte Carlo club put out there on Twitter during the week, and there's already snow appearing on some of the stages. So will you have a chance in the test to experience that?
Saw some of the stages; they look a bit more like Sweden at the minute, but yeah, the test road, it's hard to know. Hopefully it'll be similar to the stages, and it'd be nice to get a bit of snow, ice, things like that, and a bit of dry tarmac to try and really, we want to try and experience all of the conditions in one day on one stage. So that's pretty difficult to simulate, but hopefully it works out for us. I think even if the conditions are dry, that would be important to try the different tires regardless of the conditions, just to try and get a feel for what the car does. But yeah, as I said, there's going to be a lot of experience there, and there'll be a lot of knowledge to hand to give me a bit of help.
Absolutely. And from a benchmarking, do have you sat down yet to sort of set yourself a target of where you want to be? And not going to put you under pressure and ask you but I'm just wondering, are you at that stage of prepping yet?
I think if you can get to the finish of Monte Carlo, as cliche as it sounds, it really is one of those events that you can't start too slow, obviously, but if you can start, and feel comfortable and just build it from there, I think you can get a good result. Obviously we're not going to have the pace to fight the top guys in the class, especially that it's so competitive now with so many drivers coming back down into WRC2. But yeah, it's if you can if you can start well and building on that, it's a really long rally, and as I say, the conditions are going to be tricky. So it's one of those events that a good result could be possible.
And you mentioned Motorsport Ireland, the academy there being involved as well, but I'm sure you've got support from your sponsors. It's not cheap to go rallying, as we know.
No, it's not easy, and especially this time of the year. It wasn't really on my radar to try and work towards Monte Carlo, to be honest. And then the opportunity came up with the academy, so it's something that I just didn't expect, and obviously very grateful for that. But we're still planning to try and put something together for the rest of the year, and that's where I'm trying to work with sponsors and see what we can make possible.
Grand. And then from the academy's point of view, what sort of work or development would you be doing with the academy this year then as well?
Yeah, so we're really kicking that off now. We've had the first academy day. There's a few new faces in. So it's just trying to meet everybody and start working as quickly as we can. But just at this point of the season, trying to work on fitness, and everybody's trying to gather up sponsors and get cars sorted for the start of the year, whatever championship you're doing. So I think this is the most difficult time of the year, to be honest. And then whenever the season really starts, everybody can relax a bit and just focus on the driving.
And I suppose with everybody being in a similar position, is there a good camaraderie, good support amongst you guys in the academy?
Yeah, it's definitely good crack, and everybody's obviously competing. Maybe not one on one, but there's a good competitive nature, and I'm sure that'll continue throughout the year. We've got quite a few dates already lined up when we're all going to meet up for the development days, and it'll be good.
Yeah, and obviously competitive, but I'm sure there's a bit of sharing of knowledge and supporting each other along the way as well.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point of the academy, really. It's to try and to get a driver and a co-driver up to that, up into the WRC. So everybody's trying to work together, and we've got someone there working on the fitness and psychology, and there's a lot of aspects to it, and everybody's really got the same goal. So sharing of information is pretty important.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, look, William, delighted to hear your news. What do you call it? We'll be following your progress through Monte Carlo. And hopefully we'll get a chance to catch up with you after the event to see how it goes for you.
Yeah, looking forward to it, and hopefully we can get a good result. I suppose the more planning we're doing for it now, it seems more normal. But whenever you just take a step back and think about when you actually figured out you were doing it, it's quite cool. So looking forward to it, and we'll keep in touch.
Brilliant.